Ogun State House of Assembly urges residents to embrace health insurance scheme vocational training. Pensioners commend Governor Nta Abeokuta over wage increase. Plus, President Tinubu mourns death of Chief of Army Staff Taoreed Lagbaja. Hello, good evening, and thank you for joining us on Channel 12 News at 7. I am Yemi Dalemo. The Ogun State House of Assembly has encouraged residents of the state to embrace the state health insurance scheme for qualitative and comprehensive health care services. The lawmakers are also advocating investment in technical and vocational training for the youths to provide the needed manpower for technological and infrastructural developments of the country. For legislative backing that will allow them deliver more qualitative healthcare services to the people, and also solicit the partnership of the lawmakers to provide affordable medical services for members of their various constituencies. Leader of the team, Dr. Afolabi Dusumu, highlights benefits of the scheme to include affordability regardless of one's financial status and access to comprehensive healthcare services at the various designated centers across the state.
Once he has the card, immediately feels anything, he can take his card or she can take her card and go to that facility. And most of those diseases will be attended to at that initial stage before it gets to the complicated stage.
Chairman House Committee on Health, Wahab Aruno, and other lawmakers noted that the scheme will assist residents in both formal and informal sectors of the state economy and promise to key into the scheme.
I assure you that we are ready to help you and we are ready to support. As a house, what we should be looking at is how do we strengthen this scheme. It is a way to go.
In another development, Speaker of Ogun State House of Assembly, Oludaisi Elemide, stressed the need for more investment in technical and vocational education to provide the needed manpower for technological and infrastructural development of the country. The Speaker, who lamented the death of skilled manpower in technical and vocational areas, promised that legislative arm will continue to partner with the executive to resuscitate technical and vocational education in the state.
Many of these artisans don't even know how to use the plumb line. They don't. And when they erect walls to the serpentine, even for us to get this artisanal play, you may have to go to Togo, you may have to bring police, you may have to bring Benin into Nigeria.
Importing people from Europe and elsewhere, which is very expensive, we said, why don't we set it up here so that people within Nigeria can acquire these skills and give us the service that we want them to give us.
The Speaker also encouraged private individuals, organizations, and stakeholders' involvement in vocational and technical training to bridge infrastructural and human capital gap needed for development of the state and the country at large. In Abeokuta, our stakeholders await President Bola Tinubu's assent to a bill for the establishment of the Southwest Development Commission. The sponsor of the bill, Senator Benga Daniel, representing Ogun East Senatorial District, is optimistic that when it gets the presidential approval, the commission will, among other things, tackle the much-needed expansion of infrastructure in the Southwest to deal with population explosion in the zone. Senator Benga Daniel was speaking in an interview with correspondent Doris Olumoko.
Our infrastructures are so heavily, compromised because of the number of people who are migrating to Southwest, basically to Lagos, and of course Greater Lagos for, of course, is Ogun State and other locations. The population of Greater Lagos today is in excess of 20 million. And the projection we have is that in another 25 years, probably about 55 million people will be, habiting in Lagos, Ogun, and environs.
The bill for the establishment of the Southwest Development Commission, when passed into law, will allow the Southwest Zone to receive and manage funds allocated from the Federation account, including donations and gifts for the reconstruction and rehabilitation of infrastructural damages and tackling of ecological, environmental, and developmental challenges. The Nigeria Union of Pensioners Ogun State branch has commended Governor Nta Abeokuta for the wage increase extended to all categories of its members in the state. In a statement by the union entitled New Wage Increase to Ogun Pensioners, Expression of Gratitude, signed by the pensioners, the union expressed heartfelt gratitude to the governor for his kindness and consideration towards the retirees at all times. The statement noted that the state government has started paying the 20,000 naira wage increase from the month of October 2024, which they added that the wage increment was last experienced 16 years ago. They commended the governor for the prompt and regular payment of monthly pensions, release of accrued gratuities, and the gesture to cushion the effect of fuel subsidy removal, among others. The Nigeria Immigration Service has embarked on nationwide sensitization campaign against irregular migration to other parts of the world, especially the Western countries, in search of greener pastures. Hakeem Jimoh reports that the Ogun State Command of the service took the sensitization work to public, primary and secondary schools and major markets in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital.
Time, the rate at which Nigerians migrate irregularly to other countries of the world without proper documentation is so alarming that concerned authorities believe that the situation has continued to impact the country negatively, saddled with the responsibility of checkmating the movement of people into and out of the country. Nigeria Immigration Service has risen up to the challenge of curtailing the menace of irregular migration of Nigerians to other countries. Ogun State Command of the Nigeria Immigration Service also key into the nationwide campaign as directed by its headquarters in Abuja. The sensitization work, which kicked off from NIS State Command Headquarters, Okemoso, Abeokuta, passed through NNPC Junction to Kuto, stopping over at St. John's Grammar School, Kuto Motor Park, and terminated at Kuto Main Market.
As from Nigeria, we just cajole a lot of people that they are ignorant of what we are talking about. They will fall into their hand, and at the end of the day, they will fraud them, frauding and collecting a lot of money, millions of naira, telling that they are already in America, they are already in Canada, whereas they are within the country or outside the country. While
cautioning Nigerians against the canker worm, the controller identifies the dangers of the menace to include threat to life.
People that are dying at the desert almost every day, people, many of them, they will enter into the Mediterranean Sea through the ship, and from there now, the ship will capitalize, and at the end of the day, they will die there. And a lot of things that's there. A lot of the people that are forced to do prostitution outside the country, when they get there, discover there is nothing they can do, they will force them to sign oaths.
For the management of the service, winning the war against the disturbing trend is a collective responsibility of stakeholders. In Abeokuta, Hakeem Jimoh, NTA News.
It's time to pause for some messages. The news will continue shortly after this timeout. Please stay with us.
Presents glucose syrup. Glucose syrup extracted from locally sourced sorghum and corn into a liquefied sugar of natural origin. Solar Maltese glucose syrup is gluten-free and tastes yummy. That's why it is the most sought-after glucose syrup by commercial food production companies as a sweetener, thickener, and moisture-retaining agent. As it doesn't crystallize, it is used in production of candy, beer, fondant, and certain canned food, and pre-made baked goods like brisket and cookies. Sona Maltings Glucose Syrup. It's made by Sona Maltings Limited. Sona Maltings Glucose Syrup, king in liquefied sugar.
We thank you for being there. A former staff of the Nigerian Television Authority and a member of Nta Abeokuta Pioneers Forum, Alhaja Mulikat Ola Yusuf, has been honored with the title of Jakumolu Alasalatu of Obantuku Muslim Community. Oyinkosola Ojilade reports.
The was electrified with the chanting of Islamic songs to exalt the Most High God for his benevolence in the lives of the believers. Alhaja Mulikat Ola Yusuf was among those recognized and honored, having served her immediate community for years without any blemish. The Chief Imam Itoko Muslim community, Sheikh Muhammad Taufik Oyewale, advised the newly turbaned faithful to perform their duties with the fear of Allah and to dedicate their lives the more to the propagation of Islam as they take on the mantle of leadership for their new assignment. The celebrant pledged to continue to uphold the tenets of Islam and contribute to the spiritual growth and unity of Egba Muslim community.
Agumolu is not by carrying gun, causing violence, fight everybody. The Dagumolu is to cause people in the name of Almighty Allah and His Prophet Rasulullah to the Islam. People, if you are a Muslim, make sure you perform, believe in Almighty Allah and His Prophet Rasulullah. 12 pillars of Islam is very, very important. So, if you are a Muslim, you must make sure you maintain peace anywhere you are. Not to cause violence, not to fight anybody in the cause of Allah. No.
I'm happy that I'm here. I'm so glad for that. My prayer for her is that more of it, inshallah. This one will not be the end for her, inshallah.
I'm so happy. I'm very, very elated because what she has been doing as far as the Muslim community is concerned, she's a very supportive person, even right from her early 40s.
Special prayers were offered for the progress of Obantuku Muslim community, Egbaland, Ogun State, and Nigeria at large, and for the success of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration. Nta Abeokuta, Oyinkosola Ojilade, Nta News.
The new executive that will pilot the affairs of the Moshood Abiola Polytechnic Christian Union Alumni Fellowship for the next 2 years are promised to contribute their quota to the development of their alma mater and spread the gospel of Jesus Christ to the nooks and crannies of the country. This was at the 2024 Homecoming Interdenominational Service held in Abeokuta. Akim Jimo reports.
That was the mood at Christian Union Auditorium, Shodubi, Onukolobo, Abeokuta, where members of the association celebrated the love of God upon their lives and their renewed commitment to work for God the more. Speaking on the theme of this year's Get Together conference, Mercy Speaks, the officiating ministers tasked members of the association and the entire congregation to reposition themselves for divine mercies from above in their families, ministries, occupations, and professions.
Positioning ourselves to receive that mercy, to allow the mercy of God to speak in our situation. No matter what we are going through, the mercy of God speaks and it gives results. Deliverance, healing, say it anyhow. God still speaks in our generation and miracles are happening.
We must look to him for mercy, not based upon our works, not based on our righteousness, but as we keep looking to him for mercy, he will continue to show us light. And the more light we have, the more mercy we have.
For the newly inaugurated executive members of the fellowship, priority will be given to taking the gospel to the interland and giving back to their alma mater that groomed them.
We are a product of Nta Abeokuta Polytechnic, where we have been given a lot of, trainings. And here we are today, doing well in our various fields. And it's a normal thing for us to look back and say thank you to the school that have made of what we have today. When we do something in the library or in the computer room, it will be beneficial to all the students. And that is the plan we are having for next year.
The annual Homecoming Get-Together Conference of Nta Abeokuta Polytechnic Christian Alumni Fellowship holds first weekend in November every year. In Abeokuta, Akim Jimo, NTA News.
And just before we go, let us inform you that President Bola Tinubu has expressed regrets over the death of Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Nta Abeokuta after a brief illness at the age of 56 years. The president appreciates the services of the departed to the nation and wishes the family the fortitude to bear the great loss. And to that note, that we wrap up the news for tonight. Thank you for watching. Good night.
Welcome to a world of classical packaging. At Shanghai, our safe and hygiene dustbin ranging from the small closet bin sizes to large rollable industrial and community bin sizes. Decked with perfect functioning pedals, our paint containers are carefully prepared for their global journey, always prioritizing your safety every step of the way. Our array of various Tampa event plastic paint containers are the industry's #1, making them the most sought-after choice. Proudly Nigeria.